this up. Oh, I like this one. I played this like over a year ago. That song. That one's called Glass. Oh, this is pretty, but kind of. Oh, it's called Illusions. Hi, Eric M. that's enough. That's enough. Oh, well, oh, I don't care. You know what? People that know who I am and what I used to do 2 years ago and all the stuff I covered, now I just kind of wing it and have fun, you know, because I got more subs. And if you watch me and you like me, good. If you don't, hey, it's no skin off my nose. Is that the saying? Skin off my nose. Thank you for being here, everyone. Yeah, leftover coffee there and a soda down here. All right, so you guys. First, because I don't want to bypass this, I got a big, long, oh, it's hot. I had to open the window. I got a big, long, there. I got a big, long paragraph from the cutest name, Jessie Ray. I'm like, that sounds so cute and Southern. So she's Jessie Ray, whoever that is, and I'll be Ellie Mae. That's who I like to be, right? The hillbillies, the blonde. I'm Ellie Mae. I like all the animals around the swimming pool. Shoot, let's take them into the pool. Anyway, yeah, I have tremors. It's called EFT, Essential Familial Tremors. And boy, aren't they worse? They're worse when I'm off my propopanol. But it was making my heart race, and I was on it for a year and a half. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I would rather deal with this, still be able to eat, even though there has been a time when I've, you know, if I'm hungry or in a hurry even, I've actually hit my tooth. Not hard, but with the spoon, you know, kind of thing on my tooth. That's a drag. I don't wear mascara. That's why I put a little eyeliner on up there. I don't do the false eyelashes because I did that a couple years ago and it was fun and all, but boy, if you don't have them on, you get so used to seeing yourself with those butterfly wings, you know. I mean, mine weren't that long or anything, but still. So, yeah, so I can't see chat. I mean, you'd think I could, but I have to get that close. If anyone's bothering you in chat, just hit the 3 dots and you don't have to see them. Please don't time anyone out. Mary Jane Doe is my head mod, and she knows. I mean, if it's, you know, racist or horribly derogatory or something like that, time them out. Try not to block anyone. Gosh, you guys, I feel like I have a knot in my neck all the way up here, and it's my fault. I leaned like this for the longest dang time. So anyway, thank you for being here, everyone. Also, before I forget, because I'm going to play the thing in Marion County, not the thing, and words escape me now and then, and guess what? I decided to type in ischemic. I thought it was ischemic for my stroke in 2020. It's ischemic thalamic stroke. And I'll pull up that information. It talks about memory loss. I think that's part of the reason. You know, besides getting older, but still. But I didn't notice like words escaping me and things like that. For example, I'll give you an example. I didn't even want to tell my kids. I didn't want to scare them. My son got really scared. He was like, "You can't make coffee anymore." And I said, you know, now I know that if I get distracted, I need to feed the cats, do the litter box, do fresh water. Then the mama kitty eats too fast and she throws up, and I'm hoping it's a hairball, and it's not. It's all her food. So then I got to feed her again like half an hour later, you know, so she has sustenance, you know. And but even in the past 6 months, she was as light as a feather, but she's constantly moving and following me and running and doing her little horse thing when I pet her. It's the darlingest thing. She's Maine Coon. And her babies are half tabby, half Maine Coon. Anyway, yeah, so I had all this on my mind, and we have different whipped creams. We like the, what is it called? Oh, shoot, something Italian cream. It's in that maroon and white, maybe red on it, bottle. And then, of course, pumpkin spice girls, right? You got to have that. It's not really called that. It's just pumpkin spice, but that's what I call it. And then this time I picked up, when I was at the store, a peppermint mocha. Let me tell you something. That's really good. Like, the peppermint chocolate is really, really unbelievably sweet. The peppermint mocha is just right. And they're all the, what are they called? International Delights. So, and of course we have a little whipped cream left over from the pumpkin pie thing and that kind of deal, so you give a little on top. But anyway, I go to make the coffee, and I put all the grounds in, you know, coffee, or I don't have a Keurig. I don't do all that. I never have. And it's fine, you know, it's just some decaf, already grounded coffee. Put it in the thing, and I push the coffee maker back, you know, and I hit the light, thinking, wow, this is great. I'm going to have coffee. Oh, Italian cream anything. Hi, Sidekick. Hi, everyone, if I missed your name. Thanks for being here. It's really nice. I know I haven't shown my face in a while, and I've been really busy. And when I'm on the phone and doing a lot of paperwork and I don't have to go anywhere, I just stay in my pajamas sometimes during the day. Not all the time. I usually have somewhere to go, something to do every couple of days or so. But, you know, I don't want to look too much like a bum. So anyway, I pushed the coffee maker back, I hit the light, and I was back in the kitchen for something. Probably a good 3 minutes later, I even left the kitchen, and I hear a doo-doo, right? Which makes the sound when the coffee's filled all the way up. And my brain goes, oh, it's a notification on my phone, which I had charging in the kitchen. And then I hear this kind of puff noise, you know, that they make, this puff noise. And I look over, I forgot to put the water in. There you go. So I have this pot sitting on the burner, right, of Mr. Coffee. That's the kind of burner. Actually, a good 2.5 years ago, Darren got it for me for Christmas. Anyway, so I hear this noise, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I think the thing might crack, you know, if you run it underwater or whatever, but I wanted to cool it down. And then I was nervous to just set it in the sink. If there was a little bit of water, it might crack or pop. So I put warm water on, and I just really slowly. And it didn't do any, you know, the from the steam. There was no steam, but it was quite hot. And I touched the bottom to make sure it wasn't hot anymore. But you know what? I don't know, and I actually need to Google it because I can't find the, not the rules, but the, whatever it is, you know, the contents for it might be in the drawer out there. Does that automatically shut off like after 10 minutes or what? Now, I haven't seen that because we'll keep it on and just take coffee through the day. You know, it's a big one compared to our other little one. So, you know, I mean, I doubt it would have started a fire, but then again, you know, I mean, I just don't know. So that was kind of scary because I've actually put, I boiled a couple eggs once, and I mean, there was no water in the pot, and that was scary. And we've already had a kitchen fire here way back when my memory was fine. So that was a wake-up call for me, you know, and it scared my son. He's like, Mom, I don't want you making coffee anymore. I said, it'll be okay. I just, you know, you're doing 10 million things in your mind, knowing you're going to act on them pretty soon, and I can't rush different tasks anymore, you know. And anyway, that happened today, but everything was fine. And For Jessie Ray, she didn't say, I don't know who this woman is. She's probably nice and fine. She tried to be kind of nice about it, but she's, first of all, not believing that a Takotsubo stress-induced heart attack is actually that. It can be called, I did a whole show on it, but I kind of feel like when she said at the end, I'm wondering if you really even had a stroke. I was like, oh my gosh, all right, I'm just going to pull up receipts. You know, I what did I do? Not hashtagged her, but at her name. Don't even know if I spelled it, capitalized it right, but it's whatever. And yes, I most definitely did. So I pulled out my papers. But this is the test for my memory. And I asked the doctor for it because I was just noticing weird things, you know. And remember I said it started with the letter S? Wait, can you even see that? It's slums, S-L-U-M-S. Okay, you know, I just realized, I bet someone will click that. She was holding up a paper that says slums examination. Yeah, paper cut Tina, I bet she lives in the slums. You know, I mean, I'm assuming it's spelled, it's pronounced slums. Maybe it's slooms. I doubt it. S-L-U-M-S examination. Now, is there a date on it? No, but it was a good couple of years ago. That I do know. Don't show that paper unblurred. What? Oh, because of my last name? Yeah, well, people know I'm Megan. My real name is Megan. And you know, someday I'll just get rid of this whole paper cut Tina PCT thing. But honestly, I feel like I have a knot in my neck from leaning way too dang long. And I sleep like this on my pillow. It's just not going to be good tonight. I'm probably going to have to step away and take some Tylenol. But anyway, you're right. But I probably am going to change it to Megan one of these days, weeks, months, or years. I don't know when. But people followed me sort of, you know, leaving Dolly Vision's show. And they know me as Paper Cut Tina or PCT. Or as he called me once, Jimmy, you know, the owner, whatever, of the show, PCT is extreme. And that's why, before I went up on panel once, and that's why it used to be that for a good year or something. But the test, and I've gone over this before. Now, the first question is, what day of the week is it? Okay, I don't know what I said that day, but I got it right. What is the year? I got that right. What state are we in? I got that right, Washington State. Then it says, please remember these 5 objects. I will ask you what they are later. So later ended up being about 15 minutes. It wasn't 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or whatever. And the words were apple, pen, tie, house, and car. All right, and I'm not going to say it again. You guys can, well, I'll say it again. You can, don't write it down, no one cheat. In about 15 minutes, what time will it be? What? I've been on 35 minutes. When it says 40 minutes in the chat, we'll see who can remember it. I mean, apple, pen, tie, that kind of tie, house, and car. Okay, now, you know, I thought I got them all. No, I didn't. He has lines under apple and tie. So what, I don't know what I said. I could have said house first. I could have said pen first. I thought I got it. I didn't. Let's see. All right, I'll cover up my last name. He has lines. You stupid tremors, sorry. See the lines under those 2 words right there and there. Then it says, you have $100 and you go to the store and buy a dozen apples for $3 and a tricycle for $20. How much did you spend? And then how much do you have left? And I mean, it looks like I got it right. but I don't even have an answer on here. So I must have just told him. Then the number 6, there's only 11 questions. Number 6 was please name as many animals as you can in 1 minute. I don't know why. I wasn't watching, Survivor back then or anything, but I was able to spiel off 15 plus animals in 1 minute. I mean, it could have been 30. He circled the highest one right there. I was just like tiger, dinosaur, elephant, rhinoceros, cat, dog, mouse. I don't know if snake's considered an animal, whatever. For him, it might have been. Panda, moose, giraffe. I mean, you could think of the zoo too, right? So I did that. Thank God I got a good score on that. Oh, he drew little lines on the side. That's so funny. He was drawing lines so he knew how many. So apparently I did 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34 in 1 minute. That's not too bad, I guess. Apparently it was good. What were the 5 objects I asked you to remember? And I get 1 point for each one correct. So no, it was no 15 minutes later. It was whatever, time. So it was good 5 minutes later. So if I get 1 point for each one right, I have a 2. So out of 5 words, I got 2 right. Now apparently, I guess they don't have to be in this order. Apple, pen, tie, house, and car. I thought they'd probably have to be in the right order. I remembered apple, apparently, and tie. I didn't remember pen. I didn't even remember house or car. Now, I'm able to think now and associate like house and then the car pulls into the garage, if I had done something like that, right? And then maybe a gentleman walking in with a tie into the house. If I had correlated these things, and then pen, I'm writing with a pen, and an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But he just said them, and I didn't do that. So anyway, I got only 2 right. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I thought I had all 5 right when I took the test. And then I'm going to give you a series of numbers, and I would like you to give them to me backwards. For example, if I say 42, you would say 24. So that kind of thing. And apparently I got 87 right. I must have said 78, 648, 846. Thank God I got that. But apparently the 8537, I couldn't remember. Maybe I got the 73, but I couldn't remember the 5, obviously, or the 8. I mean, this is what I mean. Then this is a clock face. Please put in, so I got 2 right out of 3 things there. Hi, Mark. Hi. I'm going over my slums examine. Well, people have probably already seen my last name. It's whatever. My slums. Oh, God, I just showed it. Oh, well. My slums test. It's a memory test. No, I'm not living in the slums. People will probably click that, but it's okay. This is a clock face. Please put in the hour markers and the time at 10 minutes to 11 o'clock. Now, hour markers okay, time correct. How on earth? Okay, so this is 10 minutes to 11. I mean, you guys, I'm not stupid. This has to do with memory. 11:15 would have been easier for me. I would have had the 11 and the thing over like that, so it would have been, no, then that's like 3 o'clock. I would have had this. Wait, 11:15 would be the 11 and then this, right? But no, it's 10 till and it got me all whatever. And look at my thing's an absolute mess. So apparently he gave me 0 for that. And I do know how to tell time, and I know how to, you know, 6:30, they'd both be down on the 6 for 6:30 and that kind of thing. So anyway, then it says, please place an X in the triangle. Okay, thank God I got that right. I mean, good grief, how basic is that? I'll put the paper up close. See, I put an X in the triangle. Some people can't do that. I mean, maybe some people don't know shapes, right? Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming back, Mark. Which of the above figures is largest? Okay, well, I got that one right. That's pretty obvious, right? It's not the triangle. It's not the little, whatchamacallit, or it's not the, whatever that's called. It's not the triangle. It's the square, the box. Rectangle. I guess that was a rectangle, but up this way. A vertical rectangle. Okay, and then this one. And guess what? I got 2 points on every one. So let's test this out for real, since the word thing got discombobulated or whatever. I'm going to read you guys a story. They actually do this on Survivor, and then they have to go find, right? They have to remember the parts of the story, you know, the history and whatnot. Here's the story, and then I'm going to look. Hi, Tiger the Tonian. Hello, Martin. And who else is here? Anne. I woke up, see that you're live. I had that test last spring. Anne passed. Left pleased? Not me. I left kind of scared. I got out of, I want to make sure the number's right. High, 25, there's 30 points. And out of the whole thing, I got 19. See, there's the 19, a 1 and a 9, right? Wherever. And the highest is 30. And he didn't say, oh, you need to see a neurologist. He just didn't say much. And I said, wow, you know, and then I said, you know, is that bad? I didn't really know. And he's like, Megan, I'm concerned. I think I started crying. I'm not even kidding. Like, not boo-hooing, but getting emotional. Because I was like, what? You know? Because you don't imagine getting like an Alzheimer's kind of deal. I mean, I don't, till you're in your 70s or 80s, if you even end up going through it. And like I've said many times, my dad's wife at 55, boy, she had severe Alzheimer's. She just literally went from a woman that looked 55 to 95, for real, like in 7 to 10 years. It was just shocking. And when I went over to visit my dad, I saw him in 2011, and I saw her, and he was feeding her cottage cheese with some crushed up pineapple in it at the table. And I felt like I had to yell, you know, hi, Pat, you know, hi, Pat, but she can hear fine, you know, and it was just, and she reached out and took my hand and didn't want to let go. I might have started crying then, looking at my dad. I was just like, wow. And before this all happened to her, bless her heart, she was major religious, very opinionated, you know, maybe a little bossy, whatever. She's passed now. I don't want to smear her name. My father's passed and all that. But I'm telling you, just from a strong, independent adult down to where she couldn't wipe her bottom. Okay, now I always thought my whole life, you guys, that Alzheimer's was, okay, you're losing your memory. And then if it gets bad enough and you go in your car and you can't remember where you live or whatever, right? You can't remember houses and things. No, you slowly forget how to swallow the end stages. You can't remember how to do anything, so you can end up literally like a vegetable. It's just so bizarre and so sad and so scary. A screening test for dementia. Wow, Martin Rowe. Well, this is the thing. After reading about the ischemic thalamic stroke, I typed it in, and I'll go ahead and, well, first of all, I'll finish this, and then I'll tell you what it's, all the different things, because it was the thalamus. And you guys, I had no symptoms whatsoever. I had high cholesterol. All this stuff runs in my dad's family on side. And it was getting better to the point where the doctor had said 2 weeks prior, he gave me a paper with all these smiley faces on it, right? That I'm doing good. And I have a stroke. Like, it's just, I mean, you know, no sweating, no nothing. I've said this before, I just couldn't feel the top of my wrist. And who notices that? But I had gotten off my bicycle at the, I was going to have glaucoma testing, which I don't have that issue, but my grandma did. So they're, you know, want to keep an eye on that. And it's 2 hours, you know, to not beat, but hit this thing and be up there and look at these dots forever, you know, and because I did it once before, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. So it was a little bit warm. The sun was coming out. It was about 11 now. And I had just gotten off my bike. I mean, I locked up my bicycle and I was taking my jacket off, and it kind of rubbed and I didn't feel anything. Like, what if I hadn't noticed? I mean, I could have collapsed on the floor in the eye place, but I noticed. And instead of acting like everything's fine, I advocate for myself and my body. And I told them, I said, she said, how are you, Megan, blah, 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 because they see me every year. I have to go, you know, for tests I think it's every 2 years for the contact lenses that I wear to the store and whatnot. And anyway, I said, well, I can't feel my arm. And my wrist. And she didn't go, she just said, well, we can cancel and you can do it another time. And I just ridden my bike up like a partial even hill. I just wanted to get it done. But she said, let's call 911 and see what they say. And then the next thing I know, just because of this, pinching and not feeling on my right wrist, I'm being given that test, that FAST, which FAST stands for face, action, speech, and time, meaning get your ass to the hospital. Yeah. Long story short, I'm tracking the thing, and I'm doing the whatever, and on the speech, I said a couple of words, and then the third one was like, and I freaked. You guys. I was like, ah! Oh my God. I did. I mean, can you imagine with the people out there sitting, waiting to have their eye appointments? The place is busy. It's Vision Plus. I mean, they have different stores all over. What? Is this garbled? Or am I garbled? How's my sound? Oh, that stroke would have been so much worse. Glad I listened to my body. Well, you guys, I've never heard of TPA medicine. And this is the truth. I've said this story so many times, but someone might be watching, even from the bushes, and learn from this. Because 5 days before my stroke, I was looking at YouTube, and I don't know why it came up, but a lady's driving down the street. It's daytime. And she looks in the mirror and her whole face is, whatever it's doing. Her lips going down like this. And she pulled over and she's looking in her rear view mirror at her face. And she's having a stroke. And then it just ended like that. There was no her calling 911. 5 days before. Now you have to understand, I didn't think anything was happening. But what if I was on my bicycle going up the hill or crossing a street and I started losing the sensation on my right leg as I'm pedaling and I fell off my bike and got hit by a car even? I mean, usually I'm on the sidewalk a lot because I don't trust drivers. There's too much distraction crap. But sometimes I'm on the side of the highway to get on that, you know? So God was really looking out for me. And but this is what I want you guys to know now that I'm telling this story again. I guess it's not a surprise. But also I have all these details so Jessie Ray will know. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'm not making this up. I mean, and I have paperwork. So so I'm freaking out, crying, trying not to just, you know, it wasn't that kind of flipping out scream, but it was more of a scared hyperventilating thing, right? Welcome you guys. If you'd be willing to hit the like, that'd be really cool. So, and sub up to me if you're willing to. Oh gosh, did he? Your 6-year-old had a stroke before he was born. You guys, heart attack and stroke. I saw a thing from, you know, I'm 2 hours from Seattle, and it's called The Silent Killer of Women, heart disease. Yeah. And what was so weird is that 2 or 3 years prior to all this, or was it less? Remember all my children? Erica, what's her face? I don't know her real. It was Erica and all my children. She had, was it a stroke or no? She had a heart attack. And she had no signs. So she was all over the news with it. And I remember, because she's like a spokesperson for it. And I remember watching her going, boy, you know, glad my cholesterol's going down. I'm glad it's not me, right? And then I have a stroke. I thought I was having a heart attack. Stroke never came to my mind. My doctor didn't even discuss strokes with me. He didn't, because, you know, I was on the red yeast rice supplement for 4 years because I didn't want to be on a statin. And I thought, okay, I'll try this in the Mediterranean diet, right? And I exercise. No, it's really genetic. It's whatever, hereditary. So I'm freaking out, right? And right when I'm freaking out, the ambulance gets there. And they did everything. They stuck the thing on. There were 3 of them, you know, they have their bags, and I'm sitting there and I'm feeling safe, but I'm pretty sure I was crying still. And they stick the thing on and they listen. They do all this stuff. And they said, your oxygen levels are 100 or whatever, you know, fine. And your blood pressure's, you know, okay, and this and that. And yeah, or no, they said your blood pressure was elevated, and I asked them what it was, but they didn't really think, honestly, I was having a heart attack or a stroke even, because they said to me, if you'd like to go to the hospital, we'll take you. And I hesitated a little bit, and I said, well, this is what I said. I said, well, I know if I'm still not feeling my wrist and just feeling funny about this at like 3 p.m., I'll be calling you guys again. So I guess I'll go. But I also said to them, well, what can they do there? And that's when they said they would draw your blood and run some tests. So I had to unlock my bike, and they let me put it on the ambulance, and I went there. And then everything was boom, boom, boom. I had 2 different cardiologists looking at me. It was 2020, so it was during the C disease, right? And they checked me for that, and I didn't have it, and I kept a mask on anyway. And I'm pushing my feet against this cardiologist's hands. He's like, push as hard as you can, so I am. And then I heard the word, I heard the word something droop. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I didn't notice it or even I didn't feel anything. He had me take my hands and, or my like this and push against his. And actually, I think that's when he said droop. He noticed, you know, I don't know, like, well, maybe it was my face but if my face was drooping, I was out in 2 days. So I don't think it was that. I think it was, so anyway, then I had to have an MRI, and that was my very first one. And I had a mask on, and I'm under that thing. And that was intense, you guys. It's not horrible. People go through it all the time, but I didn't really want to listen to music, so I just listened to the da 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 da, right? For, what is it, 10 minutes or whatever. And that's when they found Jessie Ray. Not picking on you, just letting you know. I mean, your message was pretty nice. She was like, I just want to tell you PCT or whatever. Then when she doubted my stroke too, I was like, gosh, are there other people out there? Because, you know, I share this stuff. I mean, you guys, after it happened and I was home, like a pizza was delivered, I was telling that lady to watch her body. And she's just this young gal in her 20s. And she said her boyfriend was in his 30s and had a stroke. And I said, oh my gosh. Well, I said, pass this on. I was just felt like this person that had to share my experience to help other people. It was kind of weird. I stopped after probably 2 weeks telling random people. Okay, so I'm at the hospital. I have my MRI, and then they tell me it's a thalamic, an ischemic or ischemic thalamic stroke. So thalamic is thalamus. So I had to call my mom in Iowa, and I said, Mom, don't panic. She wasn't even sick then. You know, this was 5 years ago. She hadn't had her little stress-induced heart attack yet and had to have her little pacemaker thing, and she didn't have her stroke yet, and then her cancer diagnosis, all of that in her stomach was 5 years later in her 80s. But I didn't want her to freak. You know, Mom, I'm in the hospital. I had a stroke. And she's a nurse, or she was a regular nurse, RN. Then she became a psychiatric nurse. And then in her clear up to like 72 or 71, she did the home care where you travel in your vehicle to like a county nearby and all this in Iowa, and would change dressings on people's wounds and talk to them and make sure they're taking their medicine and that kind of thing. That's how special my mom was. That'll give you an idea. Honestly, you guys, I'm just going to say it. Why, I'm a pretty nice person. I had a lovely, lovely mom. Shit. I've never seen Stranger Things. It's like I say that, and then I realize I'm never going to see her again, because part of me believes in heaven, but part of me doesn't, which is weird, because I believe in God, because I've had really weird experiences, a dog almost attacking me and me saying, oh God, no, in Jesus' name, and it was walking away. And I could feel its breath on my shoulders. And then it was like down and walking. All right. All right. So anyway, yeah. So because I got to the hospital within the 4, maybe 5 hour window, I mean, I don't know. Is it 4.5 or maybe 5? It's really about 4, because that's what my paperwork says. Because I got right there, they started, not injecting, but whatever, that thing. I had so many, just like when I had my little stress-induced heart attack. Actually, with my stroke, I had even more. I had like 6 things here and 6 here. I heard a guy outside my room say I was connected to 16. Don't ask me why, right? One's probably fluids. Another one was probably they keep the blood pressure thing on you at all times, even while you're sleeping and whatever. And I was in ICU for 2 days, and I was out on Sunday because I could swallow, and the medicine dissolved that thing by I went in on a Friday and I was out Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning, I couldn't, the palm of my right hand felt like I could feel, but I couldn't. And they said it was the sensation coming back. And I didn't know this. If you have a stroke on this side, it affects this side, not the side of the stroke. I didn't know these things, you guys. Anyway, I'm also blessed and lucky, you guys, telling you this whole story. This is probably the fourth time in 5 years I've told this story. It wasn't a hemorrhaging it wasn't a hemorrhaging stroke. You can't take TPA medicine for that. Now, unless in the last 5 years they have some kind of medicine out there when you're bleeding in your brain. Okay, I don't know about it. But 5 years ago, the TPA thing came out 10 years prior. So, and I don't know what it stands for, and maybe I can find out. But I was blessed in many ways. And actually, it was weird. Probably a month after it or something, knowing it was 6 months later when my cholesterol was lower than almost normal. Like it was just from this teeny little pill, right? And being on blood pressure medicine and everything. Everything was so good from these 2 teeny little pills and a baby aspirin. You know, and of course I took my Zoloft. I was taking about 6 pills. I take a vitamin now. Did I do it in my 20s when my mom asked me to? Maybe one day, and then years went by. We all take a vitamin. It's the weirdest thing. Even my kids are willing to do it. I'm like, we buy the Centrums because my mom says they're the best because they've got all the other little chromiums and things in it. That don't buy that sugary crap, you guys. I used to. I bought the Flintstone chewables for my kids. There's got to be better stuff than that sugary whatever, bad for your teeth Flintstones. And those gummies are hideous too. I mean, I just, so anyway, yeah, so they gave me different granola bars, a soft one with some fruit inside. I remember I had a little square on my tray, and then the kind of harder one with the oats and the honey, and I had to do that because they want to make sure you can swallow. It's so weird, you guys. Like I wasn't petrified anymore because feeling was coming back, and the other thing is I kind of always thought in my mind, you really almost die from a heart attack but not a stroke. No, some people keel right over and die from strokes. I mean, geez, but anyway, I remember being in that hospital bed only for 2 days. The first whole day I had to have a pan or whatever under my bottom, that was so weird, this pink pan. This guy nurse comes in and cleans it up and everything. Barium swallows, cool to watch, the test actually. Wow. Yeah, they gave me something when I had my little stress-induced heart. I call it little, even though I had to have a thing put in my groin area and all this kind of stuff. Or no, it was never put there. They shaved me down there just a little bit on top. I mean, I wasn't all hairy or anything. I was trimmed up nice, whatever. But they did a little of what they had to do in case it wouldn't go through my arm. And but it did, and that's why I had in my video, when you see me in the hospital, my hair's short, no makeup on, I'm as pale as flipping anything. My hair looks black, but it wasn't. I didn't dye it black. It was just a real dark brownish black, and the lighting and everything. Anyway, you'll see a black Velcro thing wrapped around, and that's over where they put the thing in. And it's not just like drawing your blood. It's a deeper hole type deal, and it takes, I don't know how long, a week or more to heal, and you have to keep that covered up when you're sleeping so you don't open it, and blah, blah, blah. And you don't want it to get infected, whatever. So yeah, I went through all that. So with my stroke, though, I remember And it was just 2 days. And it made me realize, okay, Friday night, all day Saturday, all night Saturday night, and then they let me leave at 2 p.m. At about 1:30 or 1, a physical therapist guy or whatever came in, and he lifted me up off the bed, but I hadn't stood in so long or even walked that I actually was weak still, didn't know, and I fell back on the bed like this. So he didn't think I'd be able to walk hardly down the hall, and because they had to make sure I was okay. They asked me if I wanted a caretaker for a week. I mean, they covered everything. And I said, no, I really think I'm okay. So anyway, he was grabbing onto the belt that was around my waist, around my gown thing you're wearing. And we went down these steep ass stairs. I mean, they were and he hung on to me. And we went pretty slow because I felt weak. And that was odd to me. But, I guess whatever. And then I made it back up slowly. And I remember walking down the hall like a 95-year-old woman, even slower. It was just, the whole thing was kind of weird, but they let me go. I mean, they talked to me, they gave me paperwork and all this, and I'm really blessed. But I'm in a way, you guys, in a way, I'm kind of happy I had that stroke, because that got me on my medicine. My mom said, I just want to let you know, once you start these barbiturates, you're more than likely on it for the rest of your life. She said that's not a bad thing, but if you want to, do what the doctor says. She didn't even say to me, if you want to try the Mediterranean diet. She didn't even tell me about the red yeast rice. My doctor did. So my mom, even though she was a nurse, she wanted it to be my decision. So for a whole 4 years, red yeast rice, 3 of those darn things. And you guys, I mean, they're good. They're good. But if you have a genetic, like, really intense thing with your family, I don't recommend it. Get right on the medicines your doctor says. So anyway, so been on that for 5 years. That happened. And then, they're over here. So Jessie Ray, I like to pretend I'm a Southerner, even though I'm not, but I am. I was born in South Dakota, don't you know? Of course, they don't talk like that. They have a drawn-out Minnesota. Yeah. There's my aunt be on the phone with her sister. Yeah. This kind of Norwegian kind of whatever. And that's the other thing Team Rose and I have in common. I'm 80%. She's like 100 or something in Norwegian. Here's my booklet. What does this word say? Stroke. S-T-R-O-K-E. Stroke. So they gave me all this 5 years ago. And of course, I'm a little nutty and had to grab every little thing. Keeping your heart healthy. I'm not going to read them, but I'll just, there's a lot. Keeping your heart healthy, osteoporosis, anything with getting older, because I am 63 for people that don't know me. Cholesterol in your health. See, I've got my numbers on the back. Oh my gosh, in 2010, my numbers were 242. In 2012, 2 years later, see the little numbers, even though they're probably backwards? It was 253, right? Where was it? Right there. That isn't just high in cholesterol, that's very high. Doctors said extremely high. And that's another thing. I always thought you had to be like eating too much greasy foods, which I didn't. I really didn't. And maybe being a little overweight, right? For this extra cholesterol. I mean, and people that don't do any exercise. No, if it runs in your family. So anyway, 242, 2 years later, up to 253. And then apparently the HDL cholesterol good is 35 up to 59. The LDL good, the bottom number, is 130 to 159. And my numbers, 35, remember, to 59 is good. Mine was 65. Yeah, so that's not in the 30s and a good over 59. Mine was 65 over 80. Oh, the lower bottom's supposed to be 60. My lower bottom was 85. Gee, so it's supposed to be in the 30s up to 60, and then 60 on the bottom, and instead I'm 65, 85. So that sucked. And the LDL, which is bad, okay, that's the bad cholesterol, is supposed to be 130 up to 159. I was 177, and then the lower bottom number of this LDL is supposed to be 160, and I was 168. So everything was elevated, wasn't it? That's so weird. I forgot I wrote that on the back of here. Okay, so anyway, and that's what happened. And I'm going to go ahead and read something, because I think people, anyone out there that thinks that just because I didn't get to see my parents very much, because I've lived in this state of Washington since '91, and I ended up here to remarry my ex. Anyone that thinks I didn't love my father and miss my father and my mother are just so wrong. This is when, look how good my writing is. Look at that. Boy, it doesn't look like that now with my tremors. This is what I mean. And my tremors started in 1989. Just the shaking, you know. Honestly, I thought it was too much partying, and I had like DTs or something. So it was extremely gradual. I mean, you didn't notice anything tremoring with me in my 20s, 30s, or even 40s. Actually, even 50s. It all started, you know, well, middle 50s is when things, I mean, my face, I mean, it's not too bad. It's not, you know, all over anything. It's mostly my hands right now. But I wrote down July 1st on a Saturday. Dad, who, you know, was Larry Michael, because that's my maiden last name, Michael. St. Luke's Hospital, Sioux City, Iowa. I wrote down the phone number of that place, the address, 2720 Stone Park Boulevard. Wow, this is intense for me to look at, you guys, because this is like 20 years ago or more. Ask for ICU. Okay, I took notes because I got a call that my dad was running in a race, long distance race, in when he was like 55, and with his son, and he collapsed. And he thought it was just the heat or whatever, but he actually hit the pavement. Well, here, I'll read it here. He almost died. Major heart attack. He's in the intensive care. His cardiac enzymes are high, the nurse said. It's his first cardiac arrest. His heart stopped. Dad fell to the ground. The impact of hitting the ground started his heart back up. Isn't that amazing? He had an inch laceration on the back of his head. July 2nd, Sunday, called hospital, talked to nurse. Her name was Rose. Heart catheterization, scheduled for 8 a.m., July 3rd. I don't have the year on here, but I mean, actually, this is 30 years. Well, yeah, he died at like 86, so he's 55. So you guys, this is 30 years old. Good grief. And I still have it in because genetics, right? I knew I might need this information someday. Called hospital, talked to Nurse Rose, heart catheterization scheduled for 8 a.m. July 3rd, and angioplasty, which is ballooning after. July 3rd, Monday, called hospital, 5 a.m., 7 a.m. Iowa time. See, I was here in Washington. Iowa's 2 hours time way. Talked to night nurse Clark and put me through to Dad. Oh God, now I'm going to start crying again. Talked to Dad 15 to 20 minutes. He told me he has had tingling in his arms. See, I don't remember these details. And falling asleep at the wheel. Okay, so he was traveling from Akron, Iowa to Sioux City, which is 20 minutes, and then another. Killing Time would know. She's from Nebraska. I can't remember what city. It might be Omaha. Anyway, my dad went to Omaha and was a teacher for troubled Native Americans. I almost said Indian, but people will get offended. They'll, I mean, they shouldn't, but. And apparently he told me that he had tingling in his arms and was falling asleep at the wheel and a hard time sleeping all summer. So when I visited him later on, I couldn't get there when he was in the hospital, and I knew he was fine. He was getting better. He had everything done. He was eating popcorn and drinking a Mr. Pibb, I think it was, there every day to stay awake. But he didn't know it was his heart. He thought he was just tired, I guess, from all the driving. Called hospital, talked to Nurse Kathy. Heart catheterization was performed. The finished results: 2 vessels are completely blocked. 3 vessels are nearly blocked. Doctors not able to do angioplasty, ballooning, due to too much blockage. Wow. Come to think of it, you guys, they probably can now. I mean, I don't know, right? All our medical stuff is a lot more advanced, right? Our technology. But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But apparently he couldn't have that. He had too much blockage. 2 vessels completely blocked, 3 nearly. Okay, so this is why he had 5-way bypass at 55. Needs to have a heart bypass done soon. Heart bypass scheduled for Wednesday, July 5th. And this whole thing started on the 1st. So then it says heart surgeon talking to Dad today, Monday. Pat, his wife, her brother Mike, oh, that's right, he had 4 heart bypass surgeries, are taking Dad's heart films over to Shalation Hospital Clinic. We'll have that doctor's recommendation by about 2:30 to 4:30. I have call it 2:30 Iowa time. Dad wants to take Oroflow plus nutrition for life pills. Dad will be transferred to Mercy Hospital, formerly MARION Hospital. Nurse Kathy said that if Dad doesn't have the heart bypass surgery, he could have a heart attack again at any time. Nurse Kathy said that the heart muscle was healthy and pumping blood almost as good as before the heart attack. Well, how can that be if he has all that blockage? Okay, you guys, I just don't understand that. If you have 2 valves. All right, so this is a thing. I guess apparently your heart can pump pretty good. Even with 2 vessels completely blocked. Dad did say that he would have the heart bypass done at the chelation. Doctor says there's just too much blockage. What? So he never had a heart bypass? Now what? ET CAT scan results. 40% blockage. 3 days a week. Therapy, it's a common procedure. 95% success rate. Wednesday, Thursday surgery, Tuesday 3 months recovery, 6 weeks recovery. Massive stroke if he hadn't fallen. Wow, I forgot I wrote that. If he hadn't fallen during the race, he would have had a massive stroke. So hitting the ground recharged his heart, and he lived to be in his 80s. Wow. Okay, I plumb forgot about that, you guys. Surgery, Thursday or Friday. He's on medicines now. MRI tomorrow. Pool of blood. Radiologist, CAT scan, X-ray in the head, emotional tremors. I guess they can be called that too, because he tremored. He started tremoring, I guess, in his 50s. This is why it's EFT. My sister does too. Lumbar puncture, spinal tap, not done. MRI, no bleeding in brain. CAT scan, no bleeding. Calcium deposit. Sleep apnea test again. Another CAT scan after 2 weeks. And then I have Joe calls, because I was married to Joe then, 6 to 8 p.m. Iowa time. Dr. Stavins, 5-way bypass on July 6th. Anesthesia, 1 hour. The operation is 4 hours, 2 to 3 days. And the surgery is at 9:30 or 10. See, I wrote all that down. Okay, so I'm staying on top of things. I just couldn't be there. I mean, if he was, gonna die or something, I know my mom would have, she probably would have met me there, even though she was remarried. My mom and my dad were always very kind to each other, even after the divorce. I'm not even kidding. And helpful, pleasant. Yeah. What? Dad off breathing machine? He was on a breathing machine? I forgot about that. Soon. Stitching him up. Okay, so this is what? 30-some, 80, this must have been in the 90s or late 80s. Wait, no, because I remarried Joe in 95, so the middle 80s, or 90s, I mean. So anyway, my point is, back then, right? I mean, now they can just do these needle biopsies and laser things, right? But he had to be opened right up like that. So afterwards, they put him on a breathing machine, stitching him up at 2:30, in recovery at 4:30. Boy, I wrote everything down. In restraints. What? They had him in restraints? Because he was trying to move his hands. My gosh, he must have been frightened. Can you imagine coming out of a surgery like that and you're restrained? Like, I mean, what did they do, you guys? I don't know. Did they, what were the restraints like back then? I don't know. Like, I plumb forgot about that. Waking up, visitors allowed, surgery went well, call later. Called my mom and called Ashley, my sister. And then walking 3 to 5 p.m. on July 7th, so he was in the hospital a whole week there. Pain pills were Darvocet, saving strength, out of breath while talking. And I have his room number. He was out of breath while he was talking. Wow. July 9th. Hematocrit was low. Unit of blood given. Might go home tomorrow. Wow, you guys. I haven't read this in 30 some years. July 10, Bill called. This is my uncle, his brother, who's 15 years younger than my dad. Dad is eating well, recuperating well, given blood, and may go home today on Monday, or July 11, or July 12, because I have question marks. I don't know what day. I can't remember that unless it's like written down. Gee, you guys, I'm really kind of glad I read this. I hope you're not too bored. If you are, I understand. So, they give you things when you have a kismet, a heart attack or a big bad one like Dolly Vision did, right, Jimmy? These are my little, I don't know if that's water, grease, I don't know what it is, but I was moved over to that. This is, okay, so that's my information on the stroke. I'm gonna read to you super quick. I already uploaded it, so I just have to go to history about what it says in about an is chemic. Oh my gosh, that's that guy with all that NAS. Is that what it's called? Ladies and gents, NAS. He's got this black car and he'll rev it in front of the kids during the day. It's kind of funny and they all scream and get excited. I don't know where he lives. I don't know who he is, but we have speed bumps, you know, here now in the last 8 years or something. Okay. Are there people even in my chat? Are you guys like I wonder if there's anyone here still. Absolutely, it's very personal. Times change. He lived for 30 more years. Yeah, 30 or 35. And at some point, I think it was 10 years later, not 5. He had a pig valve put in. Tea is good. I should drink more tea. I didn't even start having coffee until the AA hall 14 years ago. And that's the truth. And everybody under the sun drinks coffee here in Washington State. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you guys to hang out. Perfect storm. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. I think I saw you. Oh, I saw you in Ernie Shells. I was like, I think I saw you in Mark T's when I hopped in and said hi and hung out a little bit. I knew I wasn't going to hang out for all the rest of his show because I wanted to show these receipts and just get it done. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just not going to do it again. I'm just going to, people look back at my shows or something, you know. But it's been a while since I've covered this, so Mary Jane Doe says everyone's family dynamics are different and personal. It's really nobody else's business. Yeah. That's so nice. Perfect Storm's in here. Thanks so much. MS0426. White chalky stuff. Lights it up. How they can see if you swallow properly. Oh, that. Wow. They do that now, or they did that to your son? When I had my heart attack, because honestly, you guys, that's what they call it at the hospital. Okay, it's also broken heart syndrome, like when someone dies or whatever. And it's also called a Takotsubo, which I believe Jesse Ray wrote in the thing. But okay, it says in the paperwork it's not a heart attack, but they call it a heart attack. My cardiologist, Dr. Yee, calls it a heart attack. So I call it a heart attack because the pumping of the heart, right? It's called a Takotsubo, which Mary Jane Doe pulled it up once. It's octopus in a jar in Japanese. Takotsubo, Takotsubo. Takotsubo, T, I think, SUBO. Anyway, I did a whole show on it like in April. And so you have all the symptoms. And in fact, at the end of December, I got to have a echocardiogram thing done. And he's going to be able to tell me if it's fully healed, which he said he'd like to be able to just tell me, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know if it's still healing or what. When I saw him 3 weeks ago or whatever, he's very interested in the ankles. You know, I had jeans and socks on and he just touched over it. And I guess he can feel for swollenness, and I didn't have any. Oh, we have to have it done every so often. He has trouble sometimes eating. Oh, and at risk for aspiration. As he gets older, his muscles change as well. Oh, wow. Wow. Did I look it all up? Wow, MS0426. You're such a good mother. Such a good mother. Yeah. Hello to the 24 in the bushes or the palm trees or wherever you're living. Yeah, and you aren't allowed to move even now, after that kind of procedure. Wow. Wow. Tiger the Tony, too much info. Let me think, what was I talking about now that was too much info? Oh, I do that all the time. So there's JQ Gamer was in here. There's Ann 5502. Thanks, you guys. Anderson Alvarez. Joy Bait. I'm not sure what that means. Rapper's here. The Dr. Pepper one. He was over in Ernie's. Hi, Rapper. I don't know if you're still here or not. Haven't seen you in here in a while. You're always welcome, okay? Mary Jane, promise me you will never, ever leave me, he says. Aw. Oh, Lord. And then there's a Cosin-International. Oh, Cosin International. No, National. NACIONAL 01790. Free Palestine. Oh, okay. Now, yeah. Oh, I'm glad I went up. Rock This Girl was in here. Hi, Rock This Girl. It's been a while. Thanks for coming by. There she is. Good evening, y'all. I just got here. Hope everybody's staying warm. Yeah, it's just rainy. Gosh darn gray. And then kind of windy. And it makes it cold. And it got down to 35 the other night, which is almost freezing. So I had to drip everybody, all the pipes, so that our pipes don't freeze. Okay. The intelligent test, Martin Rowe, I actually found one on my iPad and I was all excited. I'm telling you right now, I scanned those things, you know, and did the dots and matched the thing, and it's not just squares, it's dots, it's lines, it's this. I did it pretty darn fast, and I was doing good. I was proud of myself. I spotted things I know there's other people out there that wouldn't. I'm just saying it. But then, of course, right, I do this test for half an hour thinking it's free. No, you've got to pay money to get the results. And I just said, screw it. Oh, and not only that, when they have your card in there and they tell you they want to send you more different tests every month. No, I just want to do one IQ test because I want to know what my number is, because I know it's not that low. I just know it's not. And I'm not bragging, I'm just stating. My mom, before she became a nurse, was an English teacher. And my father was an English professor. He was a professor at Lyndon State College in Vermont, and but they met in South Dakota. My father was in news broadcasting, and he was actually learning and doing it with Tom Brokaw. I swear, I even saw a picture of it. They were both like 28 years old. Tom Brokaw isn't alive anymore, is he? I don't think he is. Hi, Killing Time. Yeah, you're in Nebraska. My dad used to drive from Akron, Iowa to Sioux City. It took 20 minutes, and then however far Omaha is from Sioux City. I'm not really sure. Yes, he is alive, just retired. Hi there. Hi. See, she's got Killing Time in NE, which is Nebraska. Thank you. Will you guys hit the like for me? Be so nice, you guys, I get in the 30s usually. That's the truth. When I first started my channel, I got 50 now and then. And I've gotten 100, but it's very far few in between. 150 miles west of Omaha. Okay. My dad drove 150 miles? Or is that where you're 150 miles from Omaha? I don't think I blocked Leanie. I just don't talk to her. She screamed because I went live once because she was upset that she heard me say something, but I was upset at what she was saying about my program, and I thought it had to do with politics, and it didn't. And she screamed and called me a pussy. Like, I was just shocked. That's why I'm done. I'm over it. I wish her well, whatever, but I'm still kind of in shock because she and I were pretty darn close. She called me that because I went live. Well, first of all, I wasn't on StreamYard to even bring her up, you know. Anyway, okay, so this is what it says about an ischemic stroke. A thalamic ischemic stroke is a stroke caused by a blood clot blocking blood from flow to the thalamus, a key brain region that relays sensory information and regulates consciousness, sleep, and alertness. Wow, but I slept really quite good. It's been the last, I don't know, year that I'm not like just out cold in seconds. I lay my head down. It used to be like that. Now it isn't. Symptoms can include weakness, vision problems, memory issues, confusion, and sensory changes like a burning sensation. I don't remember that. Treatment may involve medications to dissolve the clot or clot removal surgery. And that's what my friend Rosie had. And she's out of the hospital because of her AFib stuff and went back. I believe it was on Thanksgiving Day to the nursing home. And my neighbors, I just talked to him today. I talk to him every 2 days or so. They brought her Thanksgiving dinner. And I said, I thought she had to have, I said, really? They're letting her eat turkey?
It smells like it's burning in the kitchen.
No, I turned that coffee pot off.
It's smelling like something's burning. Not joking.
All right. Let me check, you guys. Poor Parker. I shouldn't have told him. Actually, I was trying to just tell my daughter, and he overheard earlier. It's the lid on the coffee pot. Remember I said over an hour ago that I forgot to put water in the thing, right? But it beeped when it fills up, but there was no water in it. Thankfully it beeped. So I had him bend down and smell the lid. I mean, it's not cracked, it's not brown, it's not crusty, but you can smell the coffee on the lid. And I looked at the bottom and it's been off for hours and hours. So maybe it's kind of a cigarette outside your window mixed in with the coffee smell. No alarms went off, no big loud anything. All right, you guys, so that's what that says. And rehabilitation therapies to manage the effects on motor, sensory, and cognitive functions. Okay, that's what happened to me. That's why I'm so crazy, you guys. Apparently. All right. This is the heart. See? Broken heart syndrome. Care instructions. Your care instructions. And then it says normal heart and a broken heart syndrome. So a broken heart one is the swollen chamber of the heart. So right here. Oh, weird. Okay, so this picture, right, is all black with, it looks like teeth. Look at that one. Has a ring around it, and that's makes it, that's a swollen one. With broken heart syndrome, the heart has trouble pumping blood normally. A chamber of the heart swells up like a small balloon. Broken heart syndrome is also called Takotsubo syndrome or stress cardiomyopathy. I let a couple cats in and one of the other ones scratching on the outside of the door. Broken heart syndrome is often triggered by great emotional stress, such as grief after losing a loved one. And you guys, there was one time when I was sobbing so hard, it felt tight right here. You know, when you're crying, it wasn't even that long. It was that intense. Only one time. And then being on Team Rose's panel and agreeing with her and saying, you know, you were saying my mom was dying. She didn't know she had cancer. You're right. She was, you know. Hi, Killing Time. Oh my gosh. I'm in Bellingham. I'm in Bellingham, and I've said it before. And there's probably people out there that don't like me. Hopefully, you know, I'm fine. But it says, I thought of you when I heard that is where the guy was from that shot the National Guard. No, I knew he was from Washington State. The man, I know what you're talking about. He's from here. Okay, that's freaking me out. But he was in the military at one point. And he has this sort of Iranian name or something. Not Allah, but Kayalala. I don't know. Anyway. Are you kidding me, Killing Time? Wow. Anyway, the female 20-year-old National Guard, for people that don't know, she died. Is the other one out? They said out of the hospital. That is where a lot of Afghan people live. They said he lived in public housing. I don't see very many Afghan people. I mean, I'm being honest. Now, I mean, there's a Palestinian family around here That's not Afghanistan, is it? It's not. No, guy. Still bad. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the guy is still in, but yeah, fighting for his life, they said on the news. Oh my gosh. And then I've said this before, there's a big, well, not that big, about 5 kids, I think. It's not like 7 or 9, but family from Syria that lives right smack below us. And then quite a few Hispanics and Latinos in this town alone. Because you know, you guys, people don't want to be big flippin'. I mean, I don't know if they've changed it, but Seattle isn't what it used to be. It's got a real homeless problem unless they cleaned it up. I mean, people were doing videos on it. Maybe it's cleaned up now. I mean, I should care enough and look, but I'm not there. But I know we have enough people like that here, and it's really sad. They open the churches up in the wintertime here, so people don't freeze to death outside. I mean, I would think every town or even state would do that, but I don't know if they do. Wow, thanks for telling me that. Okay, so it's triggered. Broken heart syndrome is often triggered by great emotional stress, such as grief after losing a loved one. It can also be triggered by physical stress, such as having a serious health problem. Sometimes the cause is not known. It says that right here, you guys. Broken heart syndrome causes the same symptoms as a heart attack. Some of the most common symptoms are sudden chest pain, and it felt like someone was taking a brick in the corner part and pressing. So like I wasn't out of breath and I wasn't screaming in pain, but it wouldn't go away for 45 minutes. So I told my daughter, I'm going to call 911. And they did tests and they weren't alarmed. And then they did more tests where they're pulling the paper out of some machine. And I saw 2 of the guys look at each other and literally said, I don't think they said stat. They might have. They actually, yeah. My daughter had to run in my room, get my backpack was in here for some reason, and my shoes I just slipped on, and they asked me if I could walk, and I said, yeah, I'm fine. And then they laid me down on the gurney thing in the ambulance. This was April 18th of this year. And then, of course, I started bawling because I was like, I'm having a heart attack. I mean, I was just like, and they were like, well, we don't know. And they never alluded to the fact. They're probably taught that, right? They just said, we're going to get you there and get you checked out. And I'm like, my kids need me. Don't let me die. I mean, it's not funny, you guys, but when I think back how, you know, I mean, I looked at the guy and I said, tell me the worst news. Tell me, I mean, don't tell me I'm going to die, but I just said, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I don't think he even admitted a possible heart attack even then, but I knew. Sudden chest pain, shortness of breath, fainting. Other symptoms may include a pounding or fast heartbeat, nausea, or even vomiting. A heart attack is caused by a blockage of one or more of the coronary arteries. These arteries supply the heart muscle with blood, okay? But broken heart syndrome isn't caused by blocked coronary arteries. But they still checked me. And I was certain, you guys, I was certain I was going to have a stent because of all my cholesterol issues. But maybe I didn't have any blockage because of those 2 little pills from my stroke. I mean, this is what I mean. I'm really, in a way, thankful for my stroke. But they say if you have a stroke, it's like somewhere on here. You're 4 times, not 2, 4 times more likely. Maybe it's 5 to have another one. Lovely. You will likely take medicines for a short time to help your heart muscle recover. These may include medicines that make it easier for your heart to pump blood. Some people may need to take medicines long term. In most people, the heart starts pumping normally again within a few days or weeks. For some people, it can take several months to return to normal. Well, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's been 7 months. Maria G, oh my gosh, hi. Wait, what time is it here? It's 8 hours later there. What is it, like 10 here? And is it 5 in the morning there? Oh, I didn't read that. A sudden surge of stress hormones weakens the heart muscle. Wow. Hi, Tina. I'm leaving for Charlene's appointment in 40 minutes, says Maria G. Wow. All right. I haven't been on my messenger, Maria. I mean, I usually am every single day. But was I on it yesterday? Now I can't remember. I'm being honest. Part of me thinks I didn't get on it, but part of me thinks I did, but it could have been the day before. So yes, update me. Give her a big hug for me, you know? Sweet girl. I love you, Maria. Okay, so, you know, and then it's all this, right? When should you call for help and this and that and the other thing. Okay, so Jessie, right? And again, I'm not picking on you. I just like to do Southern accents. And you may not even have one. I actually love your name, Jessie Ray. Isn't that cute, you guys? I've heard Ellie Mae. I've heard Bobby Sue, right? I've heard Bobby Joe, you know, for these Southern girl names. And I really think they're really cute. It's probably why I kind of like the name Shaylin for my daughter. But that was from that Canadian ice skater, you know, Shaylin Borg was her name, I think. Okay, so, you know, and every 6 months I've had to have my blood drawn because of this thing, and actually my stroke too, so I have that done a lot. And then I just got this. Oh, my battery's low. It's gone from 80 down already. Okay, it's on 10. I got this today. Or no. I hope you're doing well. This is a reminder for your upcoming appointment with Jimmy K. Yee. He's such a nice cardiologist. That was on October 20 at 4 p.m., cardiology. And then other people know that I had to do some rehabilitation and really work my heart, and I did that just a few times for a month and a half. And it was all uphill, and it was getting up to 89 in the summer, and I told him, I said, this is a little too stressful to ride my bike 3.5 miles up, 3.5 back, even though it was all downhill, and then sit on a machine, the equivalent, 2 machines of 9 miles. I'm not making this up. 5 miles on one machine, 4 on another, plus 7 home. Okay, what the heck is that? 16 miles of exercise? I just couldn't do it anymore. No. Wait, what are you chewing on? Careful. Don't hurt my orchid. My orchid is thriving still. And I submerge this thing for 5 minutes in water. It's the weirdest thing. So I lay it in a pot, and yeah. And I got this from Darren. He arrived at the door with this. I couldn't believe it. I actually said to him, I said, that was my boyfriend of 8 years that came back into my life. He said to me, you know, I needed to, I mean, we were together 8 years, and before that, he was single for 10, and before that, I mean, he didn't even date a girl or anything. He was going through a hard time. His brother unalived himself, and anyway, and all this. So anyway, Before that, he was married for 20 years. So that should tell you something. How long ago now? It was the end. Oh, it was the day before Halloween. And I'm in my pajamas, no makeup. My hair was fuller then, you know, and just wrapped around my ears. And I was like, oh my God. And wait, what are you doing? And, I mean, I didn't even recognize him. Now, I said on Mark Terry's last night, because he said, aren't you back together with your boyfriend or something? And I said it was a year and a half. Try 3 years. I haven't seen him in 3 years. So when he was at the door, I was just in shock, you know, and he just stood there. He didn't say, oh, can I come in and all this. So we're taking things slow, but they're actually where they were before. But he went through so much, I'm just going to say it, hell with this woman. The jealousy was off the chain. And apparently there was a little video of him and me. I had forgotten about it. Hanging out in his car, and she saw it, and she would not stop talking about it. She would not stop bringing me up, and then whenever they would have like an argument about something, because he said the first year was pretty good, but the last 2 were just, she was very jealous of me. I don't know, just, I mean, more curvaceous, if you will say, bigger than me, more curvaceous, and she was Hispanic, long dark hair. So you know, we didn't look at all alike. Wait, what are you licking on back there? Yeah. So, but I don't call him. I don't ask what he's doing or anything, because if you do that, then you don't know if they're even missing you, if you're reaching out first. And then also, when you're the one that always calls or texts first, then they expect that routine. The man expects that. So I told him up front, you know, you want to get together, or you want to come over and watch some TV. My kids like him. I mean, 8 years is a long time to be together. And they welcomed him with open arms, which kind of surprised me. Yeah, I am right. I am right. Now, in fact, he texted me today, and he said, oh, it's been a while. I haven't talked to you since Thanksgiving. Because he actually, I was shocked. I was like cooking and everything, and my phone beeped, and he sent me, I'll show you what he sent me. I'm going to show you on my little flip phone. Have you guys seen this, not emoji, Giphy before? It's the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. I'll just show the emoji. And, oh my gosh, he texted me back after I sent him a voicemail, and oh wow. That was at 9:31. He probably thinks I'm ignoring him because it's 1:45 in the morning, my time. I didn't know it was that late, you guys. Okay. Okay, what is the name of that cook, you guys? The one that talks like this, and she's older, and I think she was 80. What was her first name even? What on earth is her first name? Shoot. She was always on TV. You know what I mean? Okay, here it is. This person. I'm going to put it right up to the, okay, who is that? Remember her, the cook? Look at that turkey. What's her name? Julia Child. Thank God somebody remembered. I think she was in her 80s when she was cooking like that. She's not alive anymore. When did she pass away? Like 10 years ago? Is that the funniest thing? I looked at that and I laughed my ass off, and I sent him one of a fat cat. Oh, now I'm down to 5%. All right, so enough about, you know, my short-term memory crap, which, listen, it's weird when I can remember dates and times and places and all kinds of things from 40 years ago, but I can't remember literally what happened. Me verbally saying what I did on Ernie's shells. It's a God honest truth, on my mother's ashes somewhere in Iowa. Probably, what's that nearby town? Decorah. Probably in Decorah somewhere. I think her mom is buried there. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna lose it if I ever get to Iowa again. But nobody's there now but her husband Steve, and I don't get along with him really. I knew you were being honest and genuine. Yeah, I mean, my gosh. See, that's people that know me. I can see why people would think, do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, right. Well, until it happens to you, it's scary. My daughter just started dating a guy in Iowa. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. You try not to let stress get to you. Was that Martin? Oh, I just try not to let it stress me out, says Mary Jane Doe. My freaking out, like, on different panels yesterday, I got an understanding of the KB show. She said not to say her name, so, you know, I'm trying not to. But I did apologize up on Mark Terry's show. I had such deep-seated anger and hurt, but this weird empathy, not weird empathy, but when, let's see, what's her name? Gypsy Soul came up on Mark's and explained things, and they're helping spread her channel, even, you know, and it's just a kind of a given thing and it doesn't hurt her, then I was fine. So I've learned something. I've learned that if you don't go into people's panels enough, and you don't, oh, my lips just dry all of a sudden, and you don't really know the dynamics of people in there, even though they're fighting and saying bitch and this and that and the other thing and flabby tits, whatever, right? Not flabby, but whatever women say to each other. It's best not to give support or something like that. So I did some apologizing yesterday, and yeah. Oh, so next time somebody decides to hop in chat, and I told Sidekick this, even in Ernie's chat, because she asked me how I was doing, and I said a lot better today. I'm not going to take the bait, you guys. I'm not taking it. If someone, because that's what happened yesterday. Okay, this isn't an excuse. This is the reason all that Dolly Vision and even some of the, you know, his girlfriend's stuff came up, is because somebody in chat said, "Are you still in love with Jimmy?" And like a dumbass, I answered it. And then someone said something else and another thing, and then I'm defending myself, and then I get some comments after my live, and then I feel like I got to talk about it more, and it just, so from now on I don't want to deal with that anymore. Oh, thanks, Killing Time. Thank you. Oh, and at Forever is in here. Who's a Forever? That very well might be. I mean, people say my name all the time. I don't care. But the other thing I've noticed is if someone brings up your name even slightly, like I mentioned Leanie, someone's probably on the phone or messenger or emailing her right now. Tina brought up your name again. Well, not in a negative light. I just said we don't speak anymore, and there's a real reason for it. And I said, what, 2 seconds of what happened 4 months ago? Why I stay away from certain lives. Yeah. But it wasn't wise of me either. My heart, it didn't have a pain, but I did take my blood pressure. It was pretty high. It was like 179. So, and normally it's 134. It was 179 over something else high. Like 117 on the bottom number, and it's supposed to be 80 or below. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were still in here, Maria G. Yeah, so I'm not taking the bait. This is what people don't understand. I've gotten messages. When are you ever going to stop talking about him or his show? Well, people like to try to bait me. And I hook, line, and sinker take the the fishing hook or whatever I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's really kind of ridiculous. Now, so yesterday I'm chalking it up to a learning experience. I'm supposed to be doing these. I'm not doing them. I'm just not taking that thing and stretching it 5 feet and hoping it doesn't snap back into my face or on my leg. And it's tight. The big rubber band thing, what the heck is it even called? Remember? I did some exercises on a live, and it's intense. Maybe if it was kind of smaller, it wouldn't be quite as intense. Now, you guys, this came up on YouTube. Who in chat has heard about this? When I heard 4 firemen were arrested, right? This is in Marion County. I don't know where that is. Florida. We're talking 4 firemen arrested. And then I saw the word hate. Guess what I forgot to do twice? Charge my iPad. And it just went. You may need to tell us about that again. Okay, so, oh, really? It was glitching? 4 firemen. Yeah, my battery died. Well, I knew it. Remember I said it was low however long ago at 10%, and it reminded me again at 5, and I plumb forgot, kept blabbing. 4 firemen in Marion County, Florida. I don't know where that is in Florida. I don't know what it's near at all. My sister has lived in Fort Myers for 4 years, back in her 30s. I think she was in her 30s, because I visited her when I was 30, so she was 29. Yes, and it said the word hazing. And these 4 firemen, they're young, you guys. One is 19, like I'm not kidding. And another one is a female. Okay, that shocked me. Well, the name was female. I'm not kidding. And then the second name was female, but it could also be a guy. And then there were 2 other guys, like 22, 20, 19, and like another 22-year-old. I was shocked. And what they put this man through, all because he was filming he had one of the firemen's TikToks, and they wouldn't tell and I guess he was looking at it on his phone, and the guy tried to grab the phone, and he ran and he ran, and they tackled him. I'll just read it to you. And then I'm just going to read it to you. Fiddlesticks. And thankfully, of course, they're fired. A full investigation's going in. Some volunteers take them in at 14 and 15 years old up here. I believe it. Oh my gosh. Where are you? No, you might not want to say. Sorry, people don't like to blurt out their states, so I better not say anything. Sorry. And now I have you in Messenger too, but I plumb can't. I think I know where you are. Like I think it's a Midwestern kind of thing, but I can't remember. Okay, Marion County firefighters arrested. Let's see what comes up with that. Oh my gosh, here it is. Oh my gosh. The young man that got hazed or went through hazing, is hazed a word? Anyway, was 19, you guys. All right, so don't look it up. Hear my story. Is the, not that anyone is, but is anyone, or Mary Jane Doe, did you put the disclaimer in for me already? All right, here we go. I don't think I'll play like the whole thing. Well, I might. I don't know. Now, also, I need to balance things. My tremors are just way too bad. See, it's balancing on the cord. But I think if I have it up high enough, oh God. What are you doing? Can I say hi? Can I show the, can I say hi with you? Wait, don't be scared. This is Tulips. Hi, Tulip. She doesn't like to be held. Why not? She gets nervous. I mean, she'll sit in my lap. It's her being kind of up in the air. She doesn't like it. All right. Here, sit up here. Here, sit up here. She's just such a pretty kitty. Here, come here. Hi. It's like I'm her mother. Come here. Hi. Oh, don't be all spoofy. Don't be all spoofy. Look. Oh, oh. Anyway, look at her legs. She's got ginger striped legs. Here, here. Shh. Shh. Oh, baby. Oh, good grief. All right, I've got to raise it up a little. Lord have mercy. Okay, now what? Is this even going to work? Ay, ay, ay. Look at now the cat's up here. What you doing? Look, say hi. Look how big Tulip is now. 2 years in September. So, look at her. Now she likes it up there. Here, look up here. Oh my gosh, now you're climbing up here. Come here. I just want him to see your face again. You are one of us. Oh, what you doing? They were so cute as kittens. Martin, if you haven't seen my very first video when they were suckling on the mama and their eyes weren't even open. It was absolutely hilarious. Here, look. Look at her brown eyebrows. Look at those brown eyebrows. Oops. Oh, she's got this brown fur right here, like eyebrows. It's insane. They're half Maine Coon and half Ginger Tabby. They're they're exquisite. Their markings, I'm telling you, they could win ribbons or something at the Linden Fair, just like 20 minutes from us. But I would never do that. I can't. I mean, if they were real show cats, maybe. All right, now wait, you're gonna push. She's rubbing her face on the books. All right, you're gonna have to get down now because you're being a little spoofy. You're being spoofy. All right. Oh, Lord. As Ernie Shell says, 40 hails. 40 hells. What does he say? 40 hails is 16 roosters and 25 chickens, or whatever he says. It's so funny. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm going to show this. We can comment about it after. And then I'm going to end my live. Good grief. What a bunch of, I'm just going to say it, sick fucks. Okay, where's the darn video of it? Video. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods at the podium getting ready to talk about 4 Marion County Fire Rescue employees arrested after what they are calling a violent hazing incident. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Firefighters for a hazing incident that went horribly wrong. Before I get into the specifics of the arrests and what the charges are, I want to start off with this. I want to make something abundantly clear, especially to the citizens of Marion County. The leadership in the County Fire Rescue is a cut above. Chief Banta, leadership, integrity, and in my values, the integrity, honesty, and trust is there. And that's the same for our county commissioners and our county government. What they believe in and what they stand for and what they will not tolerate. But unfortunately, we are here today because of these 4 firefighters who went a little bit too far with hazing. Disappointing? Absolutely. As the son of a firefighter myself, it is disappointing. It's no different than myself when a deputy does something wrong and I have to arrest them as well. The 4 firefighters and the charges in which they are facing is kidnapping, robbery, battery, and accessory. It all began over grease being smeared on the victim and a pizza later in the afternoon, or during the shift, I should say, over a pizza, belongings, and it escalated from there. It also, the whole thing began because the 4 that arrested, or individuals at the firehouse, wanted a video from TikTok that the victim had. They chased him down in the parking lot. Once they caught him, they removed his pants from him, took his belt, then began to strike him on the backside with that belt. The victim refused to give up the phone. The belt phone was taken from him during this whole incident. Trying to gain access, these firefighters tried to get the password from him, in which he refused. During the process, they continued to escalate into these criminal acts. While they're trying to get into the phone, they took it even a little bit further. They removed his underwear and then again began to strike him on his backside, on his bare skin.
They're a bunch of bastards.
Kidnapping comes when they took him and began to drag him through the parking lot, moving him from one location to another. And then at some point, one of them decided to go get, or someone mentioned, they decided to get a bottle of water and a towel and waterboard him, according to the victim, 3 times. During this whole incident, the victim fought and refused to cooperate and made it abundantly clear to each of them that this was outside of what he thought maybe could be perceived as something minor. And each of them should have known it. Fortunately, they took it to this level. So I am going to turn it over at this point to Fire Chief Jamie Bantle.
And I think this was 4 or 5 days ago.
So good morning today, and thank you for being here. Today I want to address the arrest and termination of 4 first responders from our department. Their actions, now the subject of serious felony charges, represent a disturbing violation of everything that this profession stands for. What occurred was unacceptable, inexcusable, and fundamentally contrary to the core values of our fire department.
What's wrong with the
Let me be
volume?
absolutely clear. These individuals involved in this incident forfeited their right to wear the uniform the moment they chose an act and manner that endangered, harmed, and betrayed a fellow firefighter.
Sounds like
Their
a
behavior does not reflect who we are and what we stand for.
sounds like a frickin'
To
waterfall.
our community,
I don't know why.
I know this news is upsetting. I know it may cause some to question their trust in the department, but I ask you to remember that we have more than 800 firefighters who come to work every day with one mission: saving lives, protecting property, and protecting this community. They respond at all hours, in all conditions, and in most dangerous situations unimaginable. The misconduct of a few should not overshadow the honor, commitment, and sacrifice of the many. We hold ourselves to the highest standards, and when someone violates those standards, we take swift and decisive action, as you've seen here. Accountability is not optional. It is the foundation of public trust. Outside of the ongoing criminal case, we are reviewing the investigation completed by the Marion County Sheriff's Office, which may include the actions or inactions of others who may have been aware and or present during this incident. If additional policy violations are identified, further administrative actions will follow. We will not tolerate a culture or environment where misconduct can go unreported. Our priority moving forward is ensuring that every member of this department works in a safe, respectful, and professional environment. We will take steps to enforce our core values, strengthen our reporting systems, and ensure that all personnel understand that their duty not only to serve the public, but to support and protect each other. And to our firefighters, paramedics, CNTYs out there doing the job each and every day, thank you. And to our community, we remain committed to earning and maintaining your trust. I'd also like to make a special thanks to Sheriff Woods and the entire Marion County Sheriff's Office team for the way they handled this professionally and ensuring that the individuals are held accountable. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Commissioner Zell.
Listen to the names and the ages coming up.
Good morning. I wanted to start by acknowledging and thanking the swift, thorough, impartial work of the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Thank you, Sheriff Woods, for your professionalism and your commitment to transparency through this process. From the moment this incident came to our attention, we worked side by side with the Sheriff's Office to get the facts. Their work has been exemplary, and our partnership continues to be essential. But let me be absolutely clear. From the Board of County Commissioners, what occurred is absolutely unacceptable. It's disappointing. It makes me sick to my very stomach. We are deeply troubled by the incident. And personally, we want to apologize to the community for the way, this comes across. For these reasons that none of us can understand, a small group of employees treated the firehouse like a frat house. The behavior is absolutely disgraceful, disrespectful, and it will simply not be tolerated, as you can see here by our fire chief and our sheriff. Our fire stations are not hangouts. They're not social clubs. They're professional environments paid for by the taxpayers for one purpose: to protect the people and the property of Marion County. And what makes this simply so disappointing is we rely on our firefighters to uphold that very highest standard of service and integrity. And just like us as elected officials, we take an oath to serve the citizens. Our firefighters as well take an oath to uphold the Constitution, obey the law, act professionally, protect lives and property, and serve their community and their fellow first responders with courage, discipline, and respect. The recent actions violated that very oath they took. They violated our policies. And more importantly, they violated the trust this community places in them and in us. So let me be clear, this is not about who we are. This is not who we are. This is not what we stand for, and we will not let it happen again. Our fire chief will make sure of it. We have initiated a comprehensive review along with Sheriff Woods to get to the very bottom. We are implementing additional standards and safeguards to strengthen our oversight, ensure every employee understands that professionalism is not an option, it is an actual requirement. And we will stop at nothing to root out the conduct that disrespects this county, undermines our mission, and jeopardizes the safety and dignity of our team.
Yeah,
Marion County has zero tolerance for employees who batter and betray the trust of the people they serve. Zero tolerance for those who put their own impulses above their responsibilities. Zero tolerance for behavior that demeans the good men and women who serve honorably every single day, every single call, every single shift. Above all, our responsibility is to this community we love. Every resident deserves the full confidence of the men and women when they call 911 and we send responders to them. Every employee has the right to a safe, respectful, and professional workplace. We will uphold these standards without compromise, as you see here today. We will hold ourselves and one another accountable as well. And we will work tirelessly to ensure that our trust and your trust is rebuilt, reaffirmed, and protected every call, every moment we get the opportunity to serve this great community. Thank you.
Okay, it's the next person says the names.
I'm going to open up the floor for questions.
What's happened with the victim who come forward to testify about this? The person that...
So the victim reported it to another individual, and then it went up to its appropriate chain of command, and then it got into our hands.
Sheriff and Fire Chief, if you'd like to answer as well. I mean, anyone who hears this story is going to have a reaction. What was your reaction when you learned this all started over something like a TikTok video, a pizza, and some grease on a shirt?
In my 30 years as a firefighter, this is the most egregious thing that I've seen been reported to me. And as fire chief, I was in shock and disgusted at the actions that was reported to me. On the afternoon of the 19th,
Really?
Deputy Chief reported to me the incident that was being reported up to him.
Okay.
Consulted the assistant county attorney immediately contacted.
Because I thought news, we could just do this if it's news, not
by
YouTube.
far, more than a hazing incident, which is absolutely condoned also.
Well, hazing, yeah.
Or like hazing incidents with other firefighters or...
So we don't have any reports of discipline.
Thank you, Mary Jane.
In the past, we've had incidents of one-on-one disagreements with individuals that we've had to handle. any previous report of any type of hazing incident, we have not issued any discipline on due to either was unfound or it wasn't specifically hazing, it was more of a one-on-one type of incident.
Share if the victim is still an employee at Fire Rescue, or is this just completely turned him off to the whole profession?
listen to
As of now,
this.
the victim is an employee of Marion County Fire Rescue, and he's diligent in doing his job. He's been offered the ability to take some time, and which he's refused. His exact words were, he has a job to do, and he needs to do that job.
Isn't that amazing?
There be one key parts of this, what exactly did you tell them, like, leave them alone, no, stop, or, you know, just like,
What?
So, put yourself in their shoes, or his shoes, okay? And what I mean by that is anytime you're involved, and you have people that you know, that you work with on a regular basis, you're gonna be reluctant to come forward and tell anything, because, did you hear what he just said? Did y'all catch what the chief just said, what the young man said? I wanna get back to work. I wanna do my job. Now,
That's amazing.
as a sheriff, that speaks highly of that individual that literally he took an ass beating, okay, is what he took. But yet he is still willing to come to work, face those individuals, be around individuals, and let's be realistic. It's in our world, it's in our law enforcement, and it's probably in your profession as well too. Somebody reports something, you don't want to be the snitch, you don't want to be the person that's calling it out.
Right.
People are going to rag you, they're going to be on top of you.
Yeah.
But he did the right thing, okay? He still wants to be at work, he still ain't giving up. And keeping him there is the right thing to do. Think about this for a minute, everybody,
Wow.
and the viewers out here on this camera. We all have the one. Look at your family. Every one of you just named them right off the bat, who your one is in your family that does something wrong. And sometimes we've got multiple ones in our family. No different than us in law enforcement. We have individuals that step outside of what is right. No different than the firefighters. What needs to be clear and understood on camera and here, hearing it from these leaders right here and now, is that it is not who firefighters are. Firefighters are out there. They are our family in the first responder world. We in law enforcement rely on them. The community relies on them. Anyone else?
I guess this is for Chief, sir. Was he a startup firefighter? Was he just a newbie beginning and these were older, more long-time firefighters? Was it that kind of situation?
The victim's been on the job for about a year.
This is where he breeds the names.
Yes, and he's 19 years old. He's been on the job for about a year.
And the others were longer time? The four that were arrested?
So I can give you their names and I can give you their years of service.
Listen to this.
So the first one would be Kaylee, K-A-Y-L-E-E, Bradley, B-R-A-D-L-E-Y. She's a paramedic.
Female,
25 years old, and she's been with the department for 2 years and 10 months.
25.
The second individual is Tate Troutwine, T-R-A-U-T-H-W-E-I-N. He's a firefighter EMT. He's 19 years old, and he's been with the department for 1 year and 3 months.
That's a male.
I'm sorry?
the last name, please.
T-R-A-U-T-H-W-E-I-N. First name Tate. The
Oh,
third
Tate,
individual,
not
Edward Kenny, K-E-N-N-Y. He's an EMT. Been on the job for 3 years and 5 months, and he's 22 years old.
Unbelievable.
The fourth individual, his name is Seth Day, D-A-Y, firefighter EMT. He's been on the job 2 years and 9 months, and he's 22 years old.
Oh, 22, okay. The victim was 19.
I want to explain the TikTok videos. I'm just trying to understand what was so pressing that these former employees wanted to get access to that phone.
I'm going to let law enforcement.
So as far as what we know of the TikTok video, it was just a dance video that the victim probably was embarrassed to give up. Now, I give it to him for the fortitude that he didn't want to give up the video, didn't want to give his password to get access into the phone, and then took the beating with the belt, took the waterboarding, took the dragging across the parking lot, and still refused to give it up for a video. And I get what you're trying to ask you, but the video was something that he didn't want, he probably was embarrassed about.
Was he dancing? Is that what you're trying to imply?
What difference does it make?
Yeah,
Really?
he gets testy here.
Let's be realistic. What difference does it make? It could have been a video of a kitty cat. Who gives a crap what the video was?
Yeah.
What they did was wrong. We're missing the point here. Everything they did was wrong. And to Andy's question, did you hear the ages? Part of the problem in society today is that this younger generation does not understand. We do not teach. We do not hold them accountable. We do not teach them how integrity to do the right thing always, even when someone isn't watching. And this is the case. Some were watching. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more outside of these arrests that are going to be done from the administration here, of individuals that were part of this.
Oh boy.
That's part of the problem.
Can you bring up some of the changes the chief said they were looking at to prevent this from happening again?
So probably more than 4 gonna be
So we have
arrested.
plenty of policies in place to address behavior, address core values, address hazing. And we teach that from the get-go when we hire employees. We're going to go back, review those policies. We're going to go back and ensure that we're doing some retraining, specifically focusing on our leadership, our individual officers within the stations, and reaffirming that this isn't going to be tolerated. And if it is occurring and we're not aware of it, that we need to know that.
Chief, how did the chief at that station react when he heard this?
So there's no fire chief assigned to that station. There is a lieutenant and a captain. They're both assigned to that station.
And they're pissed. I don't blame
Other
them.
questions? Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. What on earth is that? Oh. Man. Young people doing drugs. Okay. Intense, huh, you guys? Oh, shoot. Okay, what on earth? No.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with
Oh. All right. I mean, I heard the words, you guys. I think I did. Things like a little bit of hazing in the very beginning, and that shocked me. And I was like, okay, so that means a little bit of hazing is allowed at these fire departments, I guess. Maybe I got that wrong. I don't know. I was surprised to hear that. I thought it was just sort of like a college thing where hazing happened. You know, I'm sure you've all heard some students go to college or, try to get into a frat and die because they have, most of the time, the ones I've seen, it's due to alcoholism, poisoning, whatever. So isn't that something, you guys? You see why that was in my title. It's just shocking. It's not one man. And they said more than likely there will be other arrests. They literally said people that stood around and either watched or knew it would happen or whatever, right? That condoned it and didn't say anything are in trouble. The thing is, what if they knew about it and they were just too scared to say something? Like, do you know what I mean? That they'd be next or the next time or something. So I hope they're really careful with the outsiders and who they, arrest and everything, but I'm sure they will be. All right, you guys, I've been live for 162 minutes. I don't even know how long that is. An hour is 60, so that's an hour 40, and then another 60. 60 and 60 is 120, so that's 2 hours. And then another 40, but it says 60, so that's is it 3 hours and 10 minutes or something? I don't know. Trying to figure out the math. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the new people that stopped in. Martin says, never did understand this bullying nonsense. If you have to keep telling people you're the king, then you aren't the king, chaps. Martin's from the UK. Yeah, chaps. Oh, Mary Jane Doe, try to pause and commentate in between while playing this. I hope that wasn't someone's YouTube video. I don't think it was. I think the news is okay, but oh, I'm so sorry, Shaylin. I'm ending it right now. I think she's either in bed or went to bed in the last 15 minutes or something. I don't know. But I love you guys. This is Brood Awakening with PCT. And I'll see you next time. Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you're willing to. I am monetized now if you ever want to help out or... Okay, I'm ending my live, hun. Sorry. Help me out with all these cats and kittens with a little bit of litter now and then. I have, I don't know, I have a Cash App and a PayPal on my first page, and I have little super chats and fun things. Bye. Thank you.